We continue 9 minutes after the hour now. Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ross Baraka is speaking out after his arrest late Friday for allegedly attempting to break into
Dude, come on, Fox News. That's crazy.
an ICE facility during a protest with several Democratic members of Congress. We want to take you back to Newark. That's where we find correspondent CB Cotton with the very latest. Hi,
What is happening with this video, bro?
Small group of protesters behind me says what happened yesterday at this ICE detention facility was fascism on full display.
What is happening? It's already... Yeah, I'm hosting GP.
Straight to Border Czar Tom Homan. Tom, thank you so much for being here. You know, just watching that body cam video,
it worked.
Absolutely incredible to see that went down. And before we get to it, I'd like you to also hear what the Newark mayor had to say also in his defense.
We ask them to obey our laws, to obey the policies and rules here in the city and the state of New Jersey, not to run roughshod over the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the 4th, the 5th, the 14th Amendment, that everybody on this soil deserves due process.
Tom, he's saying they're the good guys here.
Well, look, he's not very smart. I mean, bottom line is, that's what the facility's all about. This facility's about due process. This facility is where we put illegal aliens, people in the country illegally.
Oh my God, this... Anyway, let's continue with this animal.
First of all, if they're in the country illegally, they're being detained. And they were screaming and yelling about due process and 14 and all this in the Constitution. This is where due process happens. We have to detain them to go through the due process. You know, sometimes seeing a judge, sometimes they already have final orders. It's ranging removal to their countries, to getting travel documents to their countries, and making sure all the administrative processes are followed. So this is exactly what the facility means. And I'll tell you this. I can guarantee you this facility has higher detention standards than any New Jersey facility. This facility has highest detention standards in the industry. You compare that to any jail in New Jersey, and you'd be shocked how high these detention standards are.
You know, you have members of Congress there as well, and they're arguing that this was a matter of oversight. I want you to listen to what Congressman Robert Menendez Jr. said yesterday.
We were there to conduct oversight. It's a newly opened facility. They want to spin people. This is exactly what they've done their entire administration. They talk about criminals. They're separating families.
Conducting oversight in this manner. Tom.
No, it's not the proper way to do it. There's a proper way to conduct oversight. There's a way to make appointments, go in this facility. You don't break into a facility when a bus full of criminals are being, brought into that facility. This is about the safety and security of the employees. This is about the safety and security of the illegal aliens. And it's about the safety and security of the public. You just don't make an entry like that. You don't make an unauthorized entry while they're moving a bunch of criminals in the facility. There's a right way and wrong way to do it. And look, I've said from day one, you cannot support ICE. You can go ahead and support sanctuary cities, but you can't cross that line. You can't cross the line of impediment. You can't cross the line of knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien. You certainly can't trespass in a facility that's contracted by the U.S. government to house criminals. That'd be like breaking into, a state prison, not going through the proper protocols. This creates a huge safety crisis, and these elected politicians know that. This isn't about due process. This isn't about constitutional rights. This is about politics. They simply don't want these people removed from this country. They don't want immigration enforcement in this country. And that's what it's all about. They can try to hide it all they want with these protests around the facility, but we can continue to do what we're doing. That facility's got some of the worst of the worst. We're keeping President Trump's promise to the American people that elected him for the sole reason of securing the border and removing these public safety threats from the communities. That's exactly what they're going to do. They can stand out and scream all they want. They can trespass, they'll be arrested. If they impede, they'll be arrested. If they knowingly harbor and conceal, they'll be arrested. We're going to do this job for the American people.
Well, they got the news cameras out there, which I'm sure was part of the goal. Meanwhile, the administration is facing more legal roadblocks over plans to expel illegal immigrants from the country. A U.S. judge ruled this week that deportation flights to Libya would violate a court order a day after reports surfaced that the administration was preparing to do just that. How are you handling these rulings?
Well, it's ridiculous. You got district court judges, district court judges, putting in nationwide injunctions against us.
Hey, man. Remember when you said you care about the law and how nobody's above the law, only to then follow that up by saying the law can't come after me. I am above the law. Like, what do you mean? He started off by being like, oh, nobody's against the law. Nobody's above the law. You cannot have broken into a prison. No, you cannot break into a prison. It's illegal. It's a prison. I'm in a prison of my own mind. And then very quickly, he just turns around and is like, I am above the law. What is a court? I don't understand. I can't read or write. I just, like, how, like, aesthetically, these are some of the worst presenting fascists out there. Like, they don't do a good job of selling these points. All right, who the at this dude and goes, well, he instilled confidence in me. I feel like he knows what's up.
Your job. I mean, again, it isn't about the rule of law. Is you got these, these outrageous judges trying to stop us from doing what the American people want us to do. We're simply enforcing the laws on the books. We're enforcing laws acted by Congress. Unlike the last administration, who not only ignored the law, they actively violated the law when they allowed millions of people and abuse of the parole program come to the United States. We are enforcing laws that Congress enacted, including the Alien Enemies Act. That was a law enacted by Congress. They wrote that law. The president signed that law. We're using the laws on the books to remove the worst of the worst as fast as we can. And we got these outlandish judges throughout the country that are simply trying to stop us, putting roadblocks up.
He said Truntry. He said we got these outrageous judges throughout the country. He actually has CTE. Like, that's not even a joke. Why are there so many John Fettermans in the country, man? Why are there? We are a nation led by John Fettermans, bro. The ogre archetype is so strong. Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it so much. Do you want to be an active leader in this country? Do you want to be a politician? Do you want to be in charge of the administrative state? Get into a car crash that causes a debilitating mental complication. A debilitating brain injury is an absolute necessity if you want to win elections, if you want to be in charge. Also, that's another thing. Like, be a drunk who then gets into a car crash and they'll make you the president, basically.
When it gets to a higher court, we'll win this because we're simply enforcing the laws on the books. They're just trying to slow us down, but we're going to keep moving forward.
You know, I only have a few seconds left, but finally, ABC reported this week that the DOJ is investigating the 2022 traffic stop of Kilmar Obrego Garcia. Apparently, he's accused of acting as a taxi service for a convicted felon
Crash car like Fetterman. Wife wish for a better man. I hate that. Please don't joke about that. Add something serious, please. Add something serious. There's a literal Harkonnen on camera who can't even say words correctly, and he's constantly contradicting himself. How can I be serious about the situation in front of me? What is there to do? Like, look at the situation that's unfolded in the United States of America. I'm Brian me, dude. What do you want? I have to do something. I have to just, like, make fun of this guy because that's the only thing I have, okay? Like, look at him. He is literally a ogre, dude. This is unironically an ogre. He can't even speak. He's like, I need more Mexican to eat. Give me more Guatemalan for breakfast. I follow the rule of law. Like, that's what he said. He said, first, everybody follow the rule of law. Not me, though. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Look at the situation. What am I supposed to say here? Oh, wow. I can't believe it. What a beacon of mental sanity here. Okay, this guy. I mean, he is such a competent and clearly well-spoken individual that is just simply talking about what the administration was elected to do, you know? Fetterman wants to run for president? Hell yeah.
being illegal migrants across the United States. Are you familiar with that report, and what are the next steps for the administration in this case?
Well, look, it's being totally investigated by HSI and FBI, but when you talk about trafficking, who is he trafficking, right? We need to see, is he trafficking just illegal labor? Or is he trafficking people that are being forced labor? Is he trafficking women and children who are being sex slavery? I mean, is he trafficking on known suspected terrorists? We don't know. That's why we're going to investigate this. We know he's involved. We got to find out exactly what organization he was involved with. We know he's associated with the TDA, but when it comes to trafficking, they can traffic anybody from some illegal alien looking for a better life to an unknown terrorist that's come to this country to do his time. That's why this needs to be investigated right to the fullest extent.
Tom Homan, we appreciate so much you being with us on this Saturday morning. Thank you. Good to see you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, was arrested outside a newly opened immigration detention facility in his city today. Mayor Ross Baraka had been protesting the opening of that facility, given the Trump administration is planning to use it as part of the president's plan to sharply increase the number of detention beds. That's when this happened. The man you see there being arrested, wearing a brown coat and the hat, that is Mayor Ross Baraka. Witnesses say that the mayor was arrested after he tried to join a tour of the facility with 3 Democratic members of New Jersey's congressional delegation today. There was yelling and pushing after federal officials were blocking his entry. The mayor, who is running for governor, was arrested after he had returned to the public side of the gates. In a statement that came after that arrest, the Department of Homeland Security said that the lawmakers had not asked for a tour of the facility and that as a bus carrying detainees was entering, quote, a group of protesters, including 2 House members, stormed the gate and broke into the detention facility. And Mayor Ross Baraka was just released from custody and is my source tonight. And Mayor, thank you for joining me. Can you just describe what has been happening over the last few hours while you were being held?
Well, I mean, I just want to first.
I mean, that's it, bro. The regime, the right-wing regime, has arrested an opposition figure at a freedom rally outside of the Gestapo Center. You think is happening? You know, we see it.
Say that the guys from Homeland Security were very respectful. They treated me with dignity, and I appreciate that. While I spent my last few hours in holding area inside of I believe it's a detention facility that they have here in the city of Newark, that the Homeland Security has. So, it wasn't unbearable, but it was definitely, a humiliating experience and uncomfortable for me overall. But, in the end, those guys did the best that they could to make me feel comfortable, and I appreciate that.
And you were there protesting the opening of this facility. I know this has been something that you have been arguing against. Can you just take us back to what happened earlier today when you showed up? You were there on the ground with other members of Congress who are joining you. And I mean, we've seen this dramatic scene play out. Tell me what happened from your perspective.
Well, I'm going to say as much as I can without violating, what they asked me to do in court. But, I actually didn't come there to protest. I was there that morning with the fire inspector trying to serve them, as we've been doing for the last few days. We're in court with them now. The fire inspector usually puts a tag on a gate, and we leave. This happens every day. At 1 o'clock, the Congress people, Menendez, MacGyver, and Bonnie Watson Coleman, Congress people from the state of New Jersey, was going into the facility, and they said that they had.
Listen, every Democratic politician has to immediately go back and be like, that's right, the Gestapo that actually unjustly arrested me and prosecuted me when I was attempting to engage in an act of civil disobedience against like insane human rights violations that they're committing. They were super nice to me. They were so sick. Listen, a lot has been said about the Gestapo. I myself, I was there to say things to their face. But the one thing I'll tell you now, Caitlin Collins, is that they're very kind. When they were apprehending me, arresting me, putting me behind bars, they did so with kindness. They did so with humility, and they did so with great respect to professionalism. I must say, when they submitted their boot, I was licking it whole. I was basically shoving it down my throat. It was pretty sick.
Been granted entry into the facility and was having a press conference. Afterwards, I came to attend the press conference as I was asked to. Obviously, ICE after a while, made a determination after somebody came and said that we shouldn't be there, and began to.
And he was right. I should not have been there. I really should not have been there at all.
Told us to leave. We left, and they began to try to arrest me. I shouldn't say us. They targeted me and came after me specifically and arrested me.
Alina Habba, who, just for people who may not be familiar, she's President Trump's former attorney. She is now the interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey, in your state. The way she puts what happened today is
I still respect him, though, for getting arrested. Like, I mean, I still respect him for being there. I respect him for getting arrested. This is part of the process of putting your body on the front line like this. He did lose a lot of aura for being like, they were consummate professionals in my unjustifiable detention. Like, he wasn't there to protest. He said it himself. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, you did a boss move. Just play along. Why do you have to turn around and be like, actually, I was there to simply tell the cops how much I love them. I was there to tell the ICE agents, keep going. You know, you're doing a great job. I was there to give them an attaboy, and turns out they misunderstood me and arrested me. But they did so in a way where I was turned on and I liked it. So that's cool. I think they were great. They should do this more. We should arrest more Democratic politicians that happen to be in the vicinity of detention facilities, or better yet, in the vicinity of a ICE agent. If an ICE agent is on his way to get a donut from the Dunkin' Donuts down the street and I'm walking by, he can arrest me. And I think that's fine.
Homeland Security investigations to remove yourself, and says that you chose to, quote, disregard the law. Is that true? Had there been warnings? What had happened?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, we could. The reality is, Alina Habba wasn't there. The U.S. attorney wasn't there. She doesn't know what happened. Clearly, that is not the context of what happened. I was there for over an hour in that space, and nobody ever told me to move. I was in there for over an hour. Not a single person, not an officer from ICE, not any of the security guards. Nobody told me to leave that place. Somebody from Homeland Security came in the end and began to escalate the situation, and we wound up being where we are today. And that's, frankly, the extent of it. I didn't go there to break any laws. I didn't break any laws. I was there as the mayor of the city, exercising my right and duty as an elected official, supporting our Congress people, preparing for a press conference that was supposed to happen.
The thing that really frustrates me, and this is the same for Mélenchon as well, right? People in France think that Mélenchon is too radical. He's too radical to get elected. And what I find really strange about that is that time and time again, we try half measures, okay? Time and time again, we try half measures. We constantly try half measures. Is all we do. And in the process of trying half measures, the Democrats lose. Try being radical for once. Make the one option against the radical Republican Party be the radical Democrats. For once, you know? What do you have to lose, man? Ross Baraka is the leftmost candidate for governor. I don't know why he's taking this stance. I think he's taking this stance because he wants to appeal to the moderates or something.
There, I did not enter that place unlawfully. I did not break any laws. And so all of that is incorrect.
Like, this is already an incredibly unpopular thing that the administration is doing, and it's only going to get more unpopular. You want to come in on the ground floor and look like a leader in this movement. You want to be vindicated, okay? This is what Democratic politicians don't understand. This is only slated to become less popular. From this point on, it already reached its peak. It's not going to become magically overnight more popular again, where Americans go, actually, we love the Gestapo. No, the more this happens, the more resentment is going to calcify. So if you want to be on the ground floor, I'm talking like I'm a consultant, okay? I'll put my Democratic Party consultant hat on, okay? Ross Baraka, sir, you hired me to do consulting for you, so I'm telling you right now. Okay, I know even if you don't give a shit about the immigrants or whatever, even if you don't give a shit about anything, you have a gubernatorial race coming up. I promise you, you want to be a leader in this movement because New Jersey is unironically a surprisingly progressive state. Okay. And the more Jersey senators attack to the center, the more they've actually lost space to the Republicans. We should try something different. Okay. Americans are not very happy about the immigration structure that exists, and there's a lot of resentment that's bubbling up. You should be one of the movement leaders here in New Jersey. You should lead the way. You should show New Jerseyans that, you know, there is no ICE in this country. There's no space for ICE in our beautiful state, and there's no ICE in our beautiful nation state. So, as someone who just got arrested, you should lead on that. And not say like, oh, ICE was so wonderful to me and they're so amazing. You should not say any of those things. You should be like, yeah, look at what they're doing. America is becoming a tin pot dictatorship. This is not the America that I know. This is not the America that I love. Okay? That's what you should be saying. You should be positioning yourself against ICE. You should be positioning yourself against Trump. The people demand a fighter. You should be that fighter. You got literally detained. See it like a gift. Treat it like a goddamn gift instead of a nuisance because you couldn't kiss ICE's ass enough.
Some better information.
How did it get so heated? I mean, you can watch this playing out, and we see you, and everyone starts shoving, people start yelling. What did the Homeland Security official that you said came up?
Look at this, dude. You're getting arrested by some white supremacists as a black mayor of Newark. Like, that's your town. ICE leaders seem drunk on the idea that the president can give them unrestrained power, but they work for the people of a pluralistic country, not for one man. The legitimacy of this agency will need to continue to exist in a democratic society, depending on them remembering that. This agency cannot continue to exist under a Democrat president in the interest of a democratic society. The people who said that and warned of precisely this scenario 8 years ago were 100% correct, and anyone who criticized them as unserious was wrong. And the Democrats are so cucked that, like, ICE has more powers than cops do. ICE has more power than cops do. They can technically do unconstitutional search and seizure in constitution-free zones. They can do whatever they want. And it seems like they are interested in also detaining judges. It seems like they're also interested in detaining Democratic Party officials. And the Democrats are still turning around and saying, well, it's okay. It's all right. They shoved a boot in my ass, but it didn't feel too bad. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed it. And it's like, okay, at a certain point, you have to say enough is enough. We've gone far past that point. They are attacking you now. I know you're out of touch with the interests of the population, but they're directly attacking you. If you are going to, like, how can anyone believe that the Democrats are going to defend their interests when they can't even defend their own well-being as politicians, mind you?
And the first one who tried to arrest you,
Well, they tried to arrest me. As you can see, he tried to arrest me. As you can see, I'm calm. I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking. We got out of the gate. They, I guess, made a decision to come around the gate after we left to arrest me outside of the gate. So they did that. They arrested me outside of the gate. Obviously protesters and the Congress people were upset. They tried to intervene. And so, I thought it would be better for us to just go ahead with these guys and so we not cause further kind of disruption there.
Were you trying to go into the gate?
No, I was already inside. I didn't have to try to go in.
Okay.
I was there for about over an hour.
I wonder what you've been in detention, so you've been being held, so obviously you haven't seen any of the coverage. The response from others, including some people inside the administration, is pointing to the fact that you're a Democrat and you're running for governor in your state and accusing you of basically conducting a publicity stunt. And I wonder what you would say to them tonight.
Well, I think the publicity stunt is this idea that we should violate the court orders, violate the Constitution of the United States, that we should run roughshod over state and local laws. The reality in America is that if we're having a dispute, then we settle it in the court. The city of Newark has a dispute with GEO about a certificate of occupancy, about them allowing our inspectors in the buildings, health inspectors and fire inspectors, who they've been rejecting every day. Every day we go there, we put the thing on the door and we leave. We're in court right now. They dispute that. They dispute that they should have an updated certificate of occupancy. They haven't had one in 20 years. We say that they need one because the local law demands that they have to get a change of use. They dispute that, and that's their right to dispute it. But the person that settles that is a judge in a court of law, not the President of the United States, not the U.S. Attorney, not ICE or Homeland Security. That is solved by a judge here in this state, and they even moved it to federal court, so the judge has to weigh in on this, and a magistrate. They can't just take matters into their own hands and do what they want. Extra legal action outside of the courts, and that's exactly what's going on here.
What's your understanding of what happens next year? Were there conditions to your release? What was discussed before you left today?
Well, I mean, I obviously was charged with federal trespassing, and which is a Class C misdemeanor. But going through this is just really humiliating and painful. But the reality is, this is what democracy is, right? And so, we are in dispute here, and we're just living in a time period now where if you are opposed to the ideas of people, you could be threatened with arrest or intimidation, and that's exactly what's happening. And that's not the America that we want to be in. That's not the America that people chose to move thousands of miles from around the world to. This is not this place, and they're turning it into an authoritarianist government.
Do you have any regrets about how today happened?
No, I don't have any regrets at all. I went down there to support my Congress people, my Congresswoman from my district, Congresswoman Blondie Watson-Coleman as well, who is like a mother to us here, and Congressman Menendez, who's also from our district. I went down there to support them in a press conference, and I would do it again. I have a right to go to those facilities as the mayor of the city. Fire inspector has a right to be on those facilities, and it is not federal property. It's in fact private property. GEO is privately owned. It's a private prison that these people are getting $63 million to do this work, and they have to abide by local laws. That's just a fact. I don't care what our political differences is. They still have to abide by the law.
Mayor Ross Baraka, I know you've had quite an eventful few hours. Thank you for joining us so quickly after your release tonight.